Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. We begin our video with a tale of petty revenge with a sharp ending. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Bet you can't eat just one. Backstory. In the 1960s, Lay's potato chips ran an ad campaign with the slogan, "Bet you can't eat just one." This was right around the time my father was a child, and upon observing this ad, he promptly bought his first bag of Lay's, ate one chip, and threw the rest away. To this day, he claims to have never touched another Lay's potato chip. It was a fun story the first time he told it. It was mildly interesting the next 10 times he told it. Lately, though, it's been getting on my nerves. Every single time there are Lay's potato chips anywhere, family event, packed lunch, fishing trip, etc., he tells the same GD story, no exceptions. The revenge. Every time he tries to regale me or my brothers with the story of how he only ate one Lay's chip and how he's probably the only person to have ever done so and how he proved Lay's wrong, etc., I sneak a chip into his meal when he's not paying attention. And our second story. Wife sells husband's Harley for $1. Back in the summer of 1990, I was in the Army, and we were getting ready to deploy to Operation Desert Shield/Desert Storm. One of the squad leaders of my platoon, Sergeant A-Hole, was a mean, miserable SOB who enjoyed torturing and bullying us lower-ranking guys. We all hated him. Now, I don't know how this happened. Maybe he was on his best behavior, but he met this sweet little country girl and started dating her. And true to his nature, he eventually started treating her like crap. He was physically and emotionally abusive to her, but there was nothing we could do. The only thing in the world that he really cared about or loved was his Harley-Davidson motorcycle. 6 or 8 months into the relationship, she got pregnant, and he did the right thing and married her. So now we're all packing our gear and vehicles, writing our wills, and taking care of loose ends. Even though Sergeant A-Hole was a control freak, he left his wife a complete power of attorney so she could take care of anything that came up while we were deployed. So fast forward about 5 or 6 months to January 1991. Desert Storm's about to kick off, and we're camped out in the desert on the border of Iraq and Saudi Arabia. We're stressed out and scared to death. One evening we have mail call, and Sergeant A-Hole gets a big, thick manila envelope. Thinking that it's pictures or something special, he opens it in front of everyone and pulls out some photos of his wife and a baby, giving him the middle finger. Then he pulls out a photo of some guy sitting on his Harley holding up a $1 bill with a big crap-eating grin on his face. Also included in the envelope was a copy of the bill of sale for $1 and divorce papers. Sergeant A-Hole starts flipping out, yelling and screaming, and it's everything we can do to keep a straight face and not laugh. One of the other sergeants takes his rifle from him, and the platoon sergeant puts a hand on his shoulder and walks him out into the desert for a long, "I've been divorced twice, father and son" kind of talk. It was like Christmas came twice that year, and I got the giggles every time I saw him. We wanted to F with him and give him crap, but we're told to leave him alone or he might lose it and start shooting people. It turned out that his wife sold or gave away all of his stuff, moved back in with her family, wanted full custody of their child, and got a restraining order against him. He got out of the Army shortly after we returned, and I don't know whatever happened to him, but he deserved whatever he got. And our next story. Park in my spot, stay there forever. About a year ago, I was getting home after a long session of physical activity with girlfriend. I was pretty tired, so the plan was get butt home, shower, lay on bed forever. Before I get to the point, I need to tell you a bit about the place I live in. I live in an apartment in a building kinda out of town. Building has 2 gates, a small one for people and bikes, and a large one for cars. There are parking lots inside for residents, however, we often lament that there's not much room for parking cars inside. Just in front of the large gate, there's a large area that can be accessed right from the street and is actually part of the property. So I've taken the habit of parking my car, a small one, just there on the side of the large gate. This way there's more room for other residents inside, and I don't need to carry the remote/key for the large gate, which I always lose anyway. For those that are just passing by, it's not really clear that the large area is actually part of the property, so some people sometimes park there thinking it's a free space, After we explained the situation, people always move without problems, but we got tired of this, so we recently put some no parking signs inside the area, and this stopped happening. Okay, so I was tired and in need of rest. I get home and I see a big van, some electric implant company, parked right in my spot. I usually don't get mad at these things, but since I was tired and the guy parked right in front of the no parking sign, I can't park anywhere else since I'd block the way in or out for the other residents. So I park in front of the large gate, get out of my car, and approach the van. On the passenger seat, there's a large lady, and I signaled her to open the window. I kindly explained to her that this is private property and she needs to move the van. But there's nowhere else to park. I'm sorry, but as I told you, this is private property and I need to park here. Why can't you park next to us? It'd block the way of other residents. Isn't that obvious? Oh, so you live here. Then why don't you park inside? At this point, I'd like everyone to notice that there's absolutely no need for me to explain why I can't park inside. All she needs to know is that she's on private property and needs to go. Anyway, I explained the situation and she told me that the electrician, her husband, was making repairs in the building next to mine, and in 5 minutes they were leaving. Now I'm a bit PO'd because I already know it's not going to be 5 minutes, and I would have to go up and down at least once to move the car, and if someone wanted to get in or out, in the meanwhile, they would rightfully be mad at me. So I just leave the car there and go to my apartment. Thankfully, I have a window which lets me see the entrance and can check if they're still there. After 15 to 20 minutes, they're still there. I need to rest and I'm PO'd, so I go to confront them. The lady tells me that the guy came back, but only to get a few things from the van and needed to do extra repairs. Why didn't you tell him to move the van? He said it was only going to take 10 minutes. How is this an answer? I'm not interested in that. I need you to move the van. Just relax. I'm more PO'd now. Listen, I kindly ask you to move the van. If you don't, I'll call the police and have it removed. All right. I'll try to call him, but he probably won't answer. She calls the guy, but he won't answer the phone. See? Laughing, she starts to show me the ringing phone as if this is something that I'm supposed to be interested in. See? He won't answer. I don't care. You need to move the car. Why don't you tell me where he is? I'll tell him. He's in that building, but I don't know which apartment. I can't ring every apartment just to find the idiot. I give a look inside the van and I see that he left the keys there. Hey, you have the key there. Why don't you move the van? Are you crazy? He's gonna be mad. I don't care. You must move the van. Just relax. I can't do anything. Just wait here and tell him when he comes back. Now I'm really pissed. I don't say anything and I just start to walk in circles like a shark. After 10 minutes, fat electrician finally shows up. He's 6 foot 5 inches tall and at least 420 pounds. I approach him, but he starts to shout at me first. What's the problem? This is private property. You can't park here. Move the van. Why can't you park inside? I just can't, okay? Move the van or I'll call the police. You know what? Fine. Call the police. He ignores me, gets some stuff from the van, and went back to work. Now, I could have called the police, but I'm not sure that they would have had the van removed, and I might have caused a big fuss for nothing. But police or not, those people were going to pay. Revenge mode on. I took pictures of their license plate and the name of their company with my phone, then got in my car, moved it, and parked right behind them. I was like 1 to 2 inches from the back of their van. Stupid FE parked like 2 inches from the no parking sign. My car was behind it, and the small wall was on the left. The right was free, but there's no way they could have maneuvered out of it. Most importantly, the passage was now free and the residents could go in or out. I tell the lady I got their license and data just in case they were to try to damage my car, and that I'd be back in a couple hours to move the car if I remembered to. I went back to my apartment and turned the TV on. After 10 minutes, I hear people screaming at the entrance. I took the interphone and asked what was the problem. He's crazy angry and wants me to move the car. All right, I got it, I'm coming. I went back to watch TV. Another 10 minutes pass and more screaming. This time I go. You have to move the car right now. Why? This is my property. You can't block my way. I got work to do. Fine, call the police. I'm not sure the police would have removed his stupid van, but sure as hell they weren't going to remove my car from my property. At this point, he's really mad, started screaming obscenities. One thing I didn't notice, he had a lot of large electrical stuff on the ground, cables and others, but he couldn't put it in back because his stupid van didn't have a lateral entrance, but only in the back, where my car blocks the way. Why am I telling you this? Because it's starting to rain. All his stupid things could get damaged. I noticed he also understands the situation, so I say, okay, how about I do you a favor? I'll move my car, but you have to pay me, say, 50 euros. Are you effing with me? As you wish. You can pay me or call the police and see if they give a crap about you. If you don't pay, I'll move the car in a couple more hours. He starts screaming more obscenities, gets into the van, and comes back with my money. I take my money and move the car. They load their stuff and leave at full speed. No one should ever be in my spot. And our last short story for you. Don't damage my book. Several years ago, I went to return a library book to discover that a drink had spilled on it in my bag. The librarian handling returns sighed and said I'd have to take it to have the damage assessed. Of course, the result was I had to pay for the book. After an eternity of checking, queuing, and searching the system for a price, I paid £13, despite the RRP printed on the back being $8.99. She takes the book and is about to drop it in the returns bin with all the other normal returns when I say, "Hang on, I paid for it. That's my book now, right?" She shrugs and says, "Sure," but then starts to remove the Property of City Library sticker. As she pulls at it, the page starts to tear. "Whoa, don't damage my book now," I quip. She glared back at me as if I was really pushing it and continued to pull. In probably the only moment of my life, my brain worked fast enough and I came out with, "If you damage my book in any way, I'll have to charge you for that." She let out a squealing noise and stormed off into the back staff-only area. She then returned with her boss, who thrust the book in my hand and says, "Just take it and leave." Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.